This is the Blaze Radio on demand.
In the next 19 seconds, you could sell your home. Okay, it's not going to sell your home, but you're going to take a big step toward getting it sold. Go to realestateagentsitrust.com and find an agent selected by my team, a professional who shares your values and speaks the truth. Sell your home fast and for the most money. Get moving at realestateagentsitrust.com.
The Buck Sexton Show.
Our friend Sean Davis joins us now. He is the co-founder of The Federalist and just all-around smart guy. What's going on, Sean? Great to have you.
Thank you for having me, Buck. It's always fun.
So let's start with did you hear some of the Trump speech? Did you hear any of the Trump speech? Just wondering.
I did not hear any of the Trump speech. I apologize.
No, all good. I've been talking about it for an hour. The audience is probably sick of it, so we can move on to something else then. Mark Levin came out last night on his show, I believe it was last night, and said he is voting for Trump. Do you think this is? He said, those were the words I heard it myself. Voting for Trump. I saw the clips posted this morning. Is this the moment in time that might see a shift for the Never Trumpers, or is it just one guy with a big audience, and we'll see what happens?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Personally, having seen this from family members and friends, I don't think it's all that surprising. The longer this election goes on and the closer we get to November, I think the more people are going to get terrified by Hillary Clinton. We already know what she's all about. We've seen her in office. We saw her in the White House with Bill. We know how duplicitous and dishonest she is. And I think what's happening is people get closer and closer to making a choice, and they have to say, well, I know what I know about Hillary. She's awful. I just can't vote for her. Yeah, Trump is a crazy person with no real principles beyond his own self-aggrandization. But, I'll take him over Hillary. And I think that's what's happening. Is that people who have never liked Trump, who didn't vote for him in the primary, who don't have a whole lot of confidence in him, see him as the Hillary alternative, and all they know is that they don't want Hillary. So I actually don't think what Levin is doing is all that surprising. I think he is probably representative of a lot of people who didn't like Trump, but who dislike Hillary a whole lot more.
I've been there for months. I mean, I do like Trump on a couple of things sometimes, depending on what the thing is and what day it is. But I find Hillary so odious and completely unacceptable on every level that first of all, I can't imagine. And there are some conservatives who say they will even go so far as to vote for Hillary, which I actually think has crossed over into some other realm. I mean, even if you think she's or that he's an ignoramus on foreign policy and she would at least be sort of stable on all domestic policy matters, if you're a real conservative, Hillary gives you the certainty of nothing good, and Trump gives you, well, it's not great, but it might be better on some things. Do you think? What do you make of the matchup right now in the polls that shows Trump ahead by a couple of points? Is this just because of the email stuff? And do you think the stuff that's come out is much more damaging than what we already knew?
Oh, I don't know. I think everything that comes out about Hillary is more a confirmation of what we already knew. And maybe I'm kind of projecting my own biases on that I've watched Hillary for 20 years. And I don't see how, if you don't already believe that she's a liar, that any one new piece of evidence is going to somehow convince you. I think what's happening is that, Hillary is a terrible candidate. She barely won her own primary against a crazy man from Vermont. She got thumped in 2008 by a no-name senator from Illinois. She's just bad at this. She's not good at politics. She has all of Bill's downsides with none of his natural ability and charm. And I think a huge part of this is just her complete inability to close the sale. So as we get closer, people inch over to Trump. And, there's been a lot of poll unskewing, and you can't trust the polls this, you can't trust the polls that. I have kind of a nifty test I use that doesn't use polls to see, how Trump is actually doing. And I judge his performance and his current position in the race by media freakouts. So when they leave him alone for a couple days, I figure, he's down for the count. He must be out of it. But when they start amping it up and just freaking out over the dumbest little things and trying to pretend that every little thing he says is the beginning of the World War III, I know then that he's probably pretty close. And judging by the freakouts of the last week, I think, this might be an even race. It's a lot closer than I think media and the people in the media want you to believe.
How are you feeling about it at this point? I mean, as somebody who covers politics very closely and writes for The Federalist, and I'm always bouncing around and trying to see what you guys are up to over at thefederalist.com. Are you feeling more and more like you just have to you got to stop Hillary? There has to be a consensus on that, or do you still feel like third party? Where are you?
Oh, 2016 makes me sad. That's kind of where I am. 2016 to me is just an indication that we are in a sad place in America. So I'm not a big rah-rah, go team, wave the flag, put on the jersey kind of guy. Like my politicking campaigning days are over. So I don't look at this and say, oh, we have to stop Hillary or we have to elect Trump. I look at it and say, where have we gotten as a country? What have we become that these two bozos are the two people we've nominated to be the most powerful person in the world?
Yeah, I would agree. I find it to be the year of the cynics seem to be proven right over and time over and over again. And I watch this and think to myself, well, I guess the down ballot races are going to also start to get more focus. But those people who are trying to push that's an uphill struggle. Everyone really cares about the presidential race first and foremost. It's just going to suck all the oxygen out of the room. And unless there's a close race in your state, so like for me in New York, I'm supposed to focus on down ballot races. Where the Democrats are going to win, right? What am I supposed to do? I think unless you're in a state where there's a close race, you're still going to see all of the focus on Hillary and Trump. And I'm quite honestly, I haven't seen really any wind in the sails of the Evan McMullin campaign as a sort of outsider candidate. I might be wrong on that. Maybe he's gotten on the ballots on a few more states. What are you seeing there?
I don't understand what's going on there at all. I find it completely baffling. I mean, I guess more power to the guy for, getting involved instead of just, throwing rocks from the sidelines. But I don't get it. I don't get what the point of it is. He's not going to be president. He knows he's not going to be president. So what's he doing? And by the way, the same goes for Gary Johnson, too. That libertarian knucklehead. I mean, what's he doing?
Tell me this. What is Gary Johnson's play in all this? He just likes his ideas to be out there and he likes the attention. People ask me, what do you think about Gary Johnson on? And I'm always like, I don't think about Gary Johnson, really. I've read a bit about him. I met him. I've talked to him. But it doesn't seem like a serious option, so I don't spend much time on it. Is there? Am I missing something? And I ask you that in all honesty. Like, is there something really worthwhile about the candidacy that we should spend some time talking about?
No. So Gary Johnson's such a weird dude. He was an incredibly popular, effective Republican governor in New Mexico for I think 2 terms, and then something towards the end of his last term. I don't know what happened. The poor guy's brain broke. He bailed on his wife out of nowhere. Shacked up with someone, suddenly got real invested in weed and just wanted to do triathlons and climb mountains all the time. So the guy who's running for president today as a libertarian is not the guy who was a really good governor in New Mexico a while ago. He's like this weird D.C. libertine guy who just wants, sexual nihilism and free legal drugs, and beyond that, whatever. So,
I think you're selling a lot of the audience on Gary Johnson. Sexual nihilism and lots of drugs. People are like, I might have to take a look at this libertarian ticket all of a sudden. But I know what you mean.
He's like trying to drive away everyone on the right who might want to vote for him. He goes out and says religious liberty as a category is a black hole. He said, we probably should force Jews to bake Nazi cakes. Like, it's almost like either he's completely lost his mind or he's going out of his way to alienate every single person to the right of Hillary who might be interested in voting for him. So I don't know what's going on in that guy's head either.
And the other argument that I know comes up a lot, and I think that one of the reasons I want to talk about this today is because with Levin now saying, look, I'm not saying I like it and I take no responsibility for it, but I'm voting for Trump. Some of us have been there for months now and have recognized this reality for quite a while. I'm just saying, but I'm happy that I'm sort of not alone on that side of the ledger. Not that I was alone ever, but you know what I mean. I'm happy we have another one sort of joining in the I'll hold my nose and I'll do it because I am living in the reality of the system that we have. This idea that being in opposition to Hillary would be better and would conserve the conservative movement, such as it is. I feel like that ignores 8 years of what we've seen with Obamaism, where there really hasn't been a very successful defense of a whole lot. I mean, $20 trillion debt. You have Supreme Court decisions that have been eviscerating liberty and individual rights left and right. You have Obamacare passed. You have the possibility of executive amnesty. I mean, where have the Republicans been holding the line for the last 8 years in a way we can say, yeah, let's try that again?
Well, yeah, no, that's a good point. But I think the argument against Trump from people on the right is that Hillary is so universally reviled, like her own base doesn't even like her, that with her we'd get 4 years and we'd have another bite at the apple. And yes, she might do some horrible things, but we might keep a Republican Congress. We might have some sort of semblance of a respectable party and kind of an ideological foundation to go on. Whereas if you put Trump in there, he believes all the same things Hillary does. He's just, says bombastic stuff. So he'll go in there and he'll do the same crap Hillary will do. Plus, Republicans will get skewered, and then we'll have nothing left. So I'm not saying I buy that argument, but that's the argument. I think, honestly, they're both terrible. I don't like either of them. Neither of them deserve to be president. Neither of them is qualified. And it's just a sad commentary on the state of the American electorate and the choices that we made up to now, that somehow we thought these two knuckleheads are the best choices we've had. And I blame Republican leadership, people like Mitch McConnell and John Boehner. They deserve every bit as much of blame for this as anyone else, because they were the ones doing nothing in Washington for 8 years, promising everything, raising money, promising to do stuff, while actually in the back rooms doing absolutely nothing and pretending that somehow they're conservative heroes. So everyone deserves some blame here. I throw grievances at all of them, and they're all a constant disappointment to me.
So fair to say, 2016 election, in Sean Davis's view, giant goat turd buffet.
And we lost Harambe.
Oh, wait, what happened with Harambe? Oh, no, I know. I'm sorry. I know he got shot, but are you referring – because now apparently you're not allowed to speak about Harambe anymore.
Oh, no. Nobody will tell me I can't speak about Harambe anymore. But I mean,
on colleges, they're now saying that Harambe jokes are a microaggression. That was a story that just broke in the last couple of days, I think.
Well, that's weird because in my safe space, I actually need Harambe memes and jokes.
Oh, gosh. Oh, Sean Davis. Will you let me know when you decide to go on campus and just troll a few hundred students at once? Because I'm going to be standing in the background cheering you on, all right? I want to be there.
My family has told me I'm not allowed to do that because I'll get in too much trouble.
Yeah, people will actually probably throw things at you, but I'd catch your back, Sean. Don't worry. I've got some ninja moves. Sean Davis is the co-founder of The Federalist. Read his latest there. Also, at Sean MDAV on Twitter. Well worth the follow. Sean, always appreciate you making some time for us, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Always fun. Thank you, Buck.
The Buck Sexton Show.
What's up, Team Buck? Have you ever tried a Casper mattress? They are incredible. Casper is an obsessively engineered mattress at an incredibly fair price. It combines springy latex and supportive memory foams to create an award-winning sleep surface with just the right sink and the perfect amount of bounce. Time Magazine named it as one of the best inventions of 2015. You get free shipping and returns to the U.S. and Canada, and you can try it free for 100 nights, risk-free, in your own home. And if you don't love it, they'll pick it up and refund you everything. It's made right here in America. All you have to do is go to Casper.com/Buck. That's www.Casper.com/Buck. You can get $50 towards any mattress purchase by visiting Casper.com/Buck. Terms and conditions apply. This is an incredible mattress at a fantastic